Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Welcome to 2021. If you're the federal government calendar year, that's right. Today, in the eyes of the federal government, it is now 2021 financially. So we'll see all the new record levels of debt. We got more record levels of debt coming, but don't worry, it'll all work out. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. That's the number you call if you're smart enough. We got a lot of smart people out there. You don't even have to be good looking. Nope, you don't have to be. Look at me. I'm not good looking. That's why I'm on the radio. And you can call, you can go online. Just in case it's not going to just work out perfectly, Gold and Silver is going to help you. The website at allamericangold.com got a big gold rally, big silver rally today. Gold's up 20, 1908. Silver's back above $24 to the ounce and rising. And again, yesterday, I told you yesterday, well, I guess the day before, it appears like the correction is over. If we close at this level, then I'll really signify that. And again, the day's not over, so we'll see where it all shakes out. But the dollar's under pressure. More talk about stimulus and more bailouts coming now that this fiscal year's over. And they're going to give you a number in the over $3 trillion. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever number they give you, you got to add over $1 trillion to it to get to the actual number. But that's for a different show. And I've been fielding a lot of phone calls from people I don't normally get calls from. And if I do, it's like, hey, you want to play golf? Or how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a while. Hey, did you see what's happening with the high school football? Or did you see what was happening over here? Or how's the kids? No. Financial planners, guys that run other people's retirements, saying, hey, can I set up an appointment with you? I need to talk to you. I need to talk about getting some gold. Did you see the debates, right? And they're worried. They're worried. Because, let's face it, President of the United States is a crappy job. You don't want that. Growing up, what did you, the kids were always, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, right? That was kids. And, of course, today, right, you're like, yeah, no, you don't. You don't want that job. And then, of course, parents are, hey, you could be the president. Yeah, people don't say that anymore either, right? It's a bad job. Look at no offense, right? You got to pick between the two. And I've already told you, I've clearly told you. Donald Trump's the lesser of two evils, period. But these are the two best guys. This is the best we got. There's no one better than these two. No offense. Again, no offense. I'm sure I don't know either one personally. And it baffles the mind. But when you think about it, it's a crappy job. Who wants that job? So, unfortunately, this is what you end up with. And everybody's losing their minds. Everyone's going nuts. And listen, the nuttiness hasn't even started yet. Just get ready. Buckle up. Because it's going to be a crazy, crazy ride. I mean, every day now, the whole mail-in ballots. I saw guys, they're posting on social media. This is not even stuff out in the regular mainstream news media. Posting one guy right here. It's a buddy of mine who requested a mail-in ballot. He got 4 of them. The 3 others are for people that no longer live at that address. As far as he can know, he doesn't know, but it looks like Somebody that had lived there over a decade ago, they got one. The people that he bought the house from, they got one, right? He got 4 of them. It's going to be nuts, right? You know, ballots in trash cans and ballots that are being, even now there's ballots already being invalidated as the states are getting them. It's going to be a mess. Let's hope that this thing doesn't get contested, but I think it's gonna be absolute insanity. And again, I'll just go back to this is the best we got. Sadly, it must be. This is the best of the people that are willing to put their hand up and say, "Let me be the leader of the free world." Because most people know, hey, it's not a great job. Right, we got debt everywhere. We got people that just want flat-out socialism. Everybody wants a check. Here's the stimulus again. They're trying to reach some compromise. And again, remember, I told you they had to wait. They needed to wait. So the fiscal year could end, and so they wouldn't have to report, because let's face it, they should have reported a deficit of $5 trillion, and the actual debt should have been $6 trillion, but they didn't want to get that second round of stimulus out. It's coming. I still think it's going to be after the election, but it's going to be a wild, wild ride. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour here on a Thursday. Yesterday I was kind of making fun of, when I make plans, me and God got this deal. I make plans and he makes sure they don't happen. We got no boxes. The metals plan, we were hoping to start shipping yesterday. Didn't happen. We will absolutely start shipping today. We've got a new plan, but we're gonna have it nailed. Wendy and Brooke are working hard at it. So third quarter metals plans. If you haven't signed up for the metals plan, what are you waiting for? Great time to do it. October is the start of the next quarter. If you want more intel on that, you can call us here or go out to our website at allamericangold.com and click on the metals program button, and you can read all about it there. We had, it's jobs week, right? It's jobs week. So we had jobless claims. The number was lower. This was the lowest number yet. And the lowest number since the new counting. It was 837,000. 837,000 people filed for unemployment claims for the very first time. Next week's going to be a bigger number. At least today, the airlines announced 32,000 layoffs. Disney last week, yesterday, 28,000 layoffs. Shell, who else was it? Shell and I forget the other major, Marathon Oil, all in up. By the way, crude oil, another drop, $37 on crude today. There's more layoffs coming. But it was a good, 837. That was, I was saying about 865 because every week it's been between 860 and 870. 837 is the lowest number. Now we'll wait for revisions next week, but the revisions have been really small since they've come up with the new counting. So remember, they're counting a new way to make the number be lower, right? Remember, because we were over 1 million. And what they said was, hey, we make these seasonal adjustments that usually adds to the layoffs, but because of COVID, we're not doing that. And that was, when you think about the end of summer, that makes sense, right? The end of summer, a lot of those summer jobs would come to an end, and so the government would make swags at those. They stopped doing that because, let's face it, most of the summer jobs didn't happen this summer. But 837, but that's kind of where the good news ended. The other stuff, and things that we expected, spending. Now, spending was up 2%. in July. What number was this? I just want to make sure I'm talking. I don't want to give you the wrong numbers here. Yeah, this is August. Okay, this is August. So this one's got a lag. So jobless claims were obviously from September. The spending and personal income numbers, these are August numbers. And the funny thing is I thought, maybe I'm misremembering, I thought everyone still got the $600 through August, but spending, which was up 2% in July, got cut in half. So only 1% in August, still higher, which, hey, people were still getting money. The thing that we knew was going to happen was that the income levels were going to start falling. After being up because the government was sending everybody the checks, it fell more than expected, and this was the bad news. Personal incomes fell 2.7%. It was up 1% in July. It essentially, August wiped out any income gains that were made in July and June. And now, of course, some people got an extra $300 here or there, but September's number will expect another fall. November, still no stimulus, or October, still no stimulus. We're going to see another fall on that as well. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. For a lot of people, that's just a funny name, isn't it? They track layoffs. That's what they do. They're a research firm, and people pay them money to give out data. Arlene. Okay, thank you, Arlene. Arlene's handing me some notes here. It involves possibly today's special, but I'll get back to that. We're not ready yet. Not ready. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. So they're a research firm. They get paid by companies, and they track employment. One of the things they track is larger companies. In other words, every state has a different number. Okay, so some states it's, hey, if you're laying off more than 50 people, some states it may be 100 people, but when you lay off X amount of people in a state, you have to notify the state ahead of time so they can prepare, right? And so they know, okay, hey, we just heard from Marathon Oil, right? Or we just heard from American Airlines. And, like American Airlines, they got a hub here in Phoenix. So I'm sure a lot of these layoffs that they announced today are going to be people based here in Phoenix. Well, they had to let the state of Arizona know ahead of time, hey, here's what's going to happen. Blah, 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 50 people, 100 people, 5,000 people are going to be losing their jobs, next week. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas said they saw a huge increase in these announcements in the month of September. This did not include any of the announcements I made yesterday. So these were announcements that were made early in September. According to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, they said that job cuts in September they throw the unexpectedly rise, but they said that it's spreading to sectors outside of entertainment and retail. According to the data, they said that the majority of reductions was seen in bars, restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks, according to Reuters. They said the job cuts were up almost 3%. So that's a lot in a month. Up almost 3% in the month of September. They said that total announced planned layoffs for the year has now broken the record. And I don't think that's unexpected, right? So we got a new record for large company layoffs. And again, you got to be, in most states, it's got to be at least 50 people in one state to even get on this list. And according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, we have now surpassed 2 million people. The quarter was a little better, right? So only 500,000 job cuts in the third quarter. The problem was, as Challenger Gray and Christmas noted, all of a sudden in September we started seeing it rise back up again. So we saw the job cuts falling after April and May, and all of a sudden in September it started to go the other way. They said that the biggest issue being told to them, companies running out of government loans. So companies running out of government loans was the main reason that companies now are announcing layoffs. They said, according to Christmas, and well, I guess it's Challenger now is the guy that calls the shots. Challenger said if another relief package fails to pass, employers are going to enter the fourth quarter hesitant to invest and spend, and we would expect a major increase in the amount of announcements. So there you go. Another company saying, hey, no money, more layoffs. Either way, more money, good for gold. Unfortunately, more layoffs, good for gold. I mean, it's one of those weird situations where I don't think it matters which way they go. Right? It doesn't matter which way they go. And the funny thing is, as I watch this, when that tends to happen, hey, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. They normally spend money. Right? That's usually what they do. Well, if it's not going to matter either way, might as well just add it to the debt. I'm shocked that they haven't done it. But again, I think it's political. I think they've done it to try to hurt Donald Trump. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just what it feels like. This week alone, now again, remember, these ones aren't on the list. Royal Dutch Shell, Continental Airlines, Dow Chemical, Marathon Petroleum, Goldman Sachs have all announced layoffs involving tens of thousands of workers. Disney announced plans to eliminate another 28,000 workers. The Challenger report showed 32,000 job cuts at bars. So these got to be chains, right? Because usually one single bar, unless they've closed, 50 employees is a lot. So my guess is these would be maybe chains where, hey, we own multiple bars in a city or multiple bars in a state to get onto this list. 32,099 job cuts at bars, restaurants, and amusement parks in September. Wow, just think about Disney. Disney's 28,000 by itself. In September, 32,000 were at bars, restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks. So Disney basically just took care of that already. Aerospace defense. Right now we know Boeing. Right? But now it's not just Boeing. It's all the suppliers to Boeing. That was 19,000 layoffs. And those were good jobs, right? Those were high-paying jobs. Following 16,000 job cuts in the transportation industry. So those were the main driver. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see retail in there. So and maybe they just left it out in that report. But kind of interesting what we're looking at. They said 118,000 jobs in September. And just yesterday alone, what did I gave you over 100,000. So it looks like October is going to be a huge number, especially with there not being any stimulus. Private workers' pay fell again. Government workers' pay fell again. And again, the income levels mostly falling because of the lack of government money. The savings rate, which is kind of funny, the savings rate got up to 17%. So it seems like some people were smart enough to save some of that government money. It fell, by the way, Wow, that was a pretty big fall from almost 18% to 14%. It is now down 60% from the high. So people are starting to run out of that money quick. We'll see what happens. None of those data, they're not good data points. Let's just say that it's not good. So more slowdown means more job cuts. Less money means less people going out, less people doing all of these things. I'm seeing it all over town. All over town. And it's hard when you live in that tunnel vision. You know, like you make that same drive to work every day. Like for me, I hop on the freeway and I drive. It's almost all freeway. And then, boom, I get off and make, I got to go like 2 miles. But when you get off the freeways, you start driving around, you're seeing it. You're seeing the empty buildings. You're seeing the for lease signs starting to pop up. And I think that we're only just beginning to see all of those things. And Challenger Gray and Christmas says that's exactly what's happening. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. I just got handed a new note from Arlene. And Arlene, this is it. There are no more. This is what we've got. Yeah, okay. That's what we've got. Okay. We've got 50 rolls of Silver Eagles. I don't know the date. Okay, I don't know the year. It's going to be a back date. They will arrive in San Diego at our bullion bank on Monday. And then they'll be shipped out to us later next week. The price per roll, and this is what makes it so good. This is way down. You know, we've been telling you how Silver Eagle's been $10 over spot. And you got silver bumping up here on 24 and a quarter, and now almost 24 and a half now. So 24 and a quarter. They're $610 a roll today. $610, and to give you a perspective on that, that's a little over $6 over spot. So you're talking about a $4 drop in premiums on Silver Eagles, and this is the first time in 6 months that I've actually bought Silver Eagles from this bullion bank, who is my number one supplier of Silver Eagles. So he did not buy these from the mint because the mint wants, that's about cost coming out of the mint for him. So you're buying these. These are going to be right near what would have been the last 6 months worth of cost on Silver Eagles. And here's the thing. I don't see the mint ramping up production anytime soon. First of all, obviously the main mint that produces silver is West Point. That's in New York. New York's going to be, of all the states, New York's going to open last. New York, California, they're going to open last. And that's the other part. There is a secondary mint that does Silver Eagles, especially, got to remember, the U.S. Mint was producing 40 and 50 million ounces of Silver Eagles every year. This year, they're not even, maybe 14 or 15 million, maybe. And here's the thing, they're going to stop producing the 2020s here, and then probably within the next month or so, next 6 weeks, that's going to come to an end, and they're going to try to get ready for 2021. I don't know how it's going to work, because normally the first batch of Silver Eagles available, the mint makes like 4 million of them. I mean, they would have to probably stop production right now to have 4 million Silver Eagles ready by the middle of January. News out of Moderna today. So remember, there's 2 companies in the lead for the quote-unquote vaccine. Pfizer, who I've been telling you all along is the leader. Moderna, and then Johnson & Johnson is their third. And remember, the other day I told you that both Pfizer and Moderna, the vaccine vials got to be stored at like sub-zero. So a regular freezer, that's not cold enough. It's got to be frozen, I guess, because the stuff in it's unstable. Today, Moderna came out and said, yeah, we're not ready. Trial's not going to be completed before we're not going to have it done before the election, which kind of leads me to believe they're probably not going to have anything ready to go till the end of the year. And their timetable's pushed back a little bit. Haven't heard anything from Pfizer yet. Johnson & Johnson, their vaccine you can restore in a refrigerator. They've already said, hey, we're well into 2021 before we're going to be ready. So that just leads me to believe Silver Eagles are not going to be readily available anytime soon. This is by far the cheapest price I've had them. $610. Here's the thing. I got 50 rolls. I already sold one. I had a smart guy called and booked one this morning. We got 49 rolls left. And listen, there's only two phone lines open. $610. If you're looking for Silver Eagles, today is your day, especially with what gold and silver are doing today. It looks like the correction phase is over. 800-951-0592. Banks. Let's talk about banks. They're getting ready now. Third quarter's over. They are getting ready. Everyone's gearing up for what is going to happen to banks. Reuters is reporting that they expect the big commercial banks, so Wells, Citi, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Goldman, the big banks, they're expecting them to close their books on the third quarter. Analysts saying expect for them to report a 30 to 60% plunge in profits. Now here's the catch, because I was like, what? That's it? And that's a lot. I mean, you think, what do you mean that's it? 30. I mean, Goldman already announced more layoffs. Well, let me tell you, down 30 to 60%. And they said that the slump comes even though the lenders, the banks, analysts are saying they are not going to make outsized. Sorry, it's been a tough day on this Thursday. By the way, there's only one phone line open. If you want to get those Silver Eagles, stay on hold. We'll get you in the order that you called. They're not expecting the banks to make huge additions to their loan loss provisions. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, of course, here's the reason why. Because if they do, right, then they're going to say, hey, we're losing money. This is the biggest thing. The central bank doesn't want the banks to do it. Obviously, the banks don't want to do it. The last thing you want to do is wake up in the morning and hear your bank announce that it lost money. Because what happens? You get nervous. What? What do you mean you lost $3 billion? Right? What do you mean you lost $5 billion, $10, $100 billion? They're not going to do that. So according to the analyst, because revenues and profits were so poor, they don't expect the banks to make big loan loss provisions. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, look at what Challenger Gray and Christmas just said. Look at what Disney just said. Man, it's going to be, right? Yeah, it's going to be one wild fourth quarter. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. We're already through over half the Silver Eagles, so less than 25 rolls left. $610 a roll. I apologize. I know a lot of people that want to listen to the show. I don't think it'll make it out of this show. So Place the orders now. U.S. Silver Eagles, $6, a little over $6 over spot, which is, hey, if this was normal times, we'd be at 4, 375 to 4 over. So this isn't that bad, and my feelings about, so I don't love silver, but this isn't that bad. Put them away. $30 is nothing. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, just think about what we're talking about. We're talking about, hey, we think gold's going to be $3,000 an ounce this time next year. Just silver keeping pace, that puts silver at like 45. 800-951-0592. We're talking about banks. So their revenues are decimated. Even though, listen, all the banks are generating profits from the stock market. But they're saying that's not anywhere close to enough to offset losses, and they expect the banks, because of this, they're going to try to get away with the least amount of write-downs possible, which we all know is ridiculous. But did you see New York today? New York said that half of all restaurants will not reopen. It's incredible what they've done there. I mean, I get it. It's horrible and it's terrible, but you're just going to put everybody out of business. New York today, restaurants now, you can have 25% capacity inside. Here's the problem. I was just talking to my mom yesterday. It's got cold in New York. 7 o'clock at night, you don't want to sit outside anymore. It's terrible what they've done, but neither here nor there. Get ready. Now, here's what I'll give you, the good and the bad of it. The good banks, right now they're saying that the good banks are going to be J.P. Morgan, no shock, right? They're just a better criminal organization, and Bank of America. Of the top 4 banks, they are 1 and 2. They're the 2 biggest. The analysts are expecting them to be at the better end. Profits down 30+%. J.P. Morgan, B of A, at the better end. The investment banks, that's Goldman and Morgan Stanley, they're expected to have declines somewhere in the 5 to 10% range, but they don't have big deposits. Those are investment banks. That's big on investment banks. Like I said, Goldman announced layoffs. What banks are going to be on the bad end of it as far as the big ones go? Citigroup and Wells Fargo. They are the 3rd and 4th largest bank. So it goes J.P. Morgan, Bank of America. They're going to be on the better end, down 30%. Then number 3 is Citi. Number 4 is Wells Fargo. And that's by deposits. They expect both of these 2 banks to report net income down by 60%. And again, that's only because they're going to misrepresent the write-downs. And again, how much stimulus are we going to get? And when are we going to get it? The lack of stimulus and the lack of urgency in getting it, and the lack of size will make the write-downs even bigger. I mean, that's really all there is to it. And quite honestly, you guys know my feelings about these criminal organizations. And the fact of the matter is, you got to have money in there. But don't have more than you need in there, especially now. This isn't the time. We don't know what's going to happen. But when you sit there and you think about what we're looking at from Challenger Gray and Christmas, who said, guess what, layoffs are getting worse again. And I told you, and I told all of you, I told you that was what was going to happen when the government didn't re-up the stimulus. They don't have money, places close. And I know they come out on TV and they say 11 million or 12 million people aren't employed. That's a lie. It's like 27, 28, 29 million. But they just don't want, again, the mainstream media just wants to lie, and it's ridiculous. Why lie about it? Why, so you can say the unemployment rate's 8.2% instead of 16? That's why we're going to lie? It's nuts. And you know me, I want less government. But if they don't hurry up and give people some money, listen, bad things are going to happen. They're already happening. When Challenger Gray and Christmas says, hey, in September, big companies laid off 118,000 people, and then I tell you in the last 48 hours, big companies have laid off just as many in 48 hours. Now we're talking about, hey, the banks aren't going to write down their loan loss provisions because they didn't make enough money. It's a scary thing to be. And listen, we all saw the debate. Listen, Donald Trump's Donald Trump. And again, my biggest fear is I still say he's going to win, but I don't be surprised if the Democrats get control of the Senate, and then we got problems again. I don't like we need any more. Stop it. Time out. HR Radio News Hour. One more segment to go. (800-951-0592). I have Arlene begging the Bullion Bank if we can get more Silver Eagles. It doesn't look great. We're trying our best, but there's still about a dozen, Baker's dozen rolls left. So there's still there's going to be a little less than that now. U.S. Silver Eagles, $610 a roll until we're out of them. Gold's up 25, 19.11. Silver's up 96 cents at $24.16. The stock market they're treading up $100, or 100 points. Stock market's up 100 points. Crude oil down $2 today. Tough day in crude. That's not good. I expect more layoffs in that industry as well. Back to the banks. The Federal Reserve has made an announcement. In the light of economic uncertainty and to provide a cushion against loan losses and to support lending, it is going to ban share buybacks from big banks. And those are banks with more than $100 billion in assets through the end of the year. That'll get extended again. But no share buyback. Now, you know how these guys, all they do is want to buy their shares back. So this is a major announcement. This tells you how serious the problem is. Right? We know they're going to understate losses. No buybacks from the Federal Reserve for the same reason. It said it will also cap dividend payments. So now they're saying they're going to use a formula. I don't know what it is, right? It's a mystery formula now. So big banks, no share buybacks. Dividend payments are going to be cut. They aren't saying by how much. I mean, is it a 20% cut, a 50% cut, a 90% cut? That would be nice to know. The Fed said, according to the stress test, which is a joke, an additional analysis, they're still saying that all large banks are still sufficiently capitalized. If that was true, they would report the right loan loss provisions. If that was true, they could buy back their shares. If that was true, they wouldn't be capping their dividends, right? You can't speak out of both sides. 800-951-0592. The Federal, boy, they went on. They had a lot to say. They started talking about not only brick and mortar, but what I've been talking about the last few days, The oil and gas sector now, they're saying look for record bankruptcies there. So this is spreading now, right? We keep talking about commercial real estate. But now we got to add to it. Wait a minute. Now, oil and gas, right now they're hemorrhaging again, right? We're seeing more layoffs, and more layoffs, it means more bankruptcies, right? So the big guys lay off, the little guys go under. Right, in all of these places, like everything, everyone borrows money to make money. So we'll have to see what else. It's too big. I can't even get through it all. I'll share the rest of this with what the Fed announced with everybody tomorrow in regards to banks. But it looks like big banks under pressure as the losses continue to pile up. Patriot Radio News Hour. God bless everybody. Get those Silver Eagles. Jack Daniels Friday tomorrow. Don't miss it.